Alright guys, today what I'm going to do is review what people are calling online the Wirkin bag. You know, it is kind of a dupe for, I don't think I'm allowed to say the real one, but you should probably know. It's by a company that starts with an H, a luxury brand, right? Everybody knows it. And so if you are coming here, you probably want to see what this bag looks like and the details of it. But I have a little backstory for it because this bag almost gave me a month-long panic attack. And let me explain why. And that's part of my review, because if you are looking to order one of these yourself, I've only ever seen maybe one or two other people unbox one of these things. I've already unboxed it and everything and taken all the wrapping off. But I've only seen one or two of them, and those people I feel like were paid by the company. I'm not. I just ordered it because I was interested in it. So let me explain something to you. I ordered this late April because I just sometimes in my free time I'll flip through Pinterest, and I kept seeing these ads for this bag, and they're like, you can get a really good dupe for this very famous luxury bag for only between, I think it was 60, the different sizes, okay? They had the 10-inch, which was 60, the 12-inch, which was 65, and then this 14-inch, which is $70. And I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna spring for this big bag because if I want, like, you know, I like to travel and stuff, and I thought this might make a nice personal item if I am able to bring a carry-on, and this is a personal item. Most of the time I travel with that backpack that I reviewed, but you know, just I thought if I'm going somewhere really fancy and I don't have to bring a lot of clothes, it might be kind of a nice accessory. Anyway, that was my idea. I kept seeing it pop up and it looked really good on the websites and everything. So I went ahead and ordered it, and it said it had free shipping, free priority shipping, by the way. And what was crazy is I ordered it on one day, and then I got the tracking number the next day. And the next day, it was like the website that I bought it from, which was wirkin.com, WIRKIN.com, was completely gone. And let me explain something to you, because I wasn't just stupidly buying this. I had seen these ads pop up for a full month before I even decided to buy it. So it wasn't like I just did it on a whim. Like, I kept going to the website and looking at it, and the website was still up. And like 2 days, maybe 3 days after I bought it, the website was completely gone. And the tracking number was like a number from China. And I had to do a little research. There's a website called Track 16 or Track 17 or something like that, that I was able to find the tracking number. But what's crazy is they must have put this in the mail, and then somebody found the company and got them in trouble maybe for making a dupe, and the company went under or something. But you know, like I've said before, even in other videos, the reason I don't leave a link is because a lot of times when you buy stuff on Amazon or even Temu especially, they'll release it under some weird like Chinese brand name, and then they get in trouble or they sell out of them, and then they re-release the same item but under a completely different brand name on a completely different store and whatever. So I'm like, what happened? And I'm like, I have a tracking number, so apparently it's in the mail, but it would like only update the tracking like maybe every 3 or 4 days. And I'm like, shoot, did I get so scammed that they just took my money and then closed the company? I'm like, why would you take $70 and then close the company? I don't know. I'm just like, what is, you know, I had all these scenarios going through my head, and I'm like, I'm never going to get this bag. And I feel like maybe now scammers have my payment information, you know? I'm like, what have I done? I try not to do these things. I thought I had done my due diligence. Anyways, I would say maybe a week or so, and there was no one I could notify because the website was gone. There's no contact information or anything. Well, a week later, of like maybe a week and a half of hearing nothing, all of a sudden I get this email from a different company called Virelli, VIRELLI.com. And they said, hey, we've overtaken your tracking of the bag that you ordered from that last company. If you'd like to order another one, you can order them through us. Now, here's the weird thing, is when I went to the Wirkin website, the description of it said that every bag is made with fine pebbled leather, fine pebbled cowhide leather. And then when it flipped over to the Virelli company, the same bags were displayed, but they said, we make our bags with the highest grade vegan leather. You know, that's like this highfalutin way of saying it's plastic, basically. And also a way to like make you feel guilty for wanting real leather. But then you feel like you're doing something good because you're buying plastic, which actually uses more resources to make, but whatever. Anyways, it's cheaper for them and they can kind of make you feel good about giving them more money for a lesser product. Anyways, so this next website, when they described their bags, it was like this vegan leather thing, and I'm like, crap, I thought I was getting a leather bag, and I knew it was kind of too good to be true because it's $70 for a bag this size. It's kind of crazy, even if it is vegan leather. Anyways, didn't hear anything, and I got on this new website. At least I could track the bag through that website, and then literally 2 weeks after I got that email from the new website, the website was still up that I could track, but everything else on the website, all the products were gone. So for some reason, they still had tracking ability, but you can't buy bags through Virelli anymore. So they must have closed and opened under a new site now. I don't know, or I don't know, maybe they got caught so bad that you can't do it anymore. And I understand like there's tariff stuff going on, but this I don't think had anything to do with the tariffs because I bought it and they put it in the mail. It was coming to me. I'd already paid for it, you know? It was already in the mail. It's just that the company that first mailed it went under, and then a second company. Anyways, I'm not kidding. I ordered this late April and I just got it last week, early June. So over a month, and I was so surprised that I actually even got it. So now that I've told you my whole story, and I'm telling you this because if you order something like this, make sure that you have a way of contacting the company in case they go under. I would, you know, I'm just saying, like, I did get the bag, so it's not like I got completely scammed, but that's just part of my review, okay? If you want to go through the panic attack of waiting and maybe not getting it, I guess that's up to you. But I did get it, so let's look at it. Okay, so it does come with this little dust bag, which is kind of nice, all right? And this is what the bag itself looks like. And I think for a fake one, it does look pretty good. Let me see if I can bring up so that you can see detail of the leather. This is what the hardware looks like. It actually looks really nice. And it does have a working lock here. You know, you can lock it by just twisting that. And then it also has the keychain. It does have an H on it, which is nice. And then here's the other hardware. Now, actually talking about this lock, I'm gonna put it back down because it's hard for you to be able to see it. The lock does have a key in it, and so let me show you what the key looks like, and then I'll bring it back close to the camera. This is one dead giveaway that it's not real, because this is not what the real key looks like. Even though I do think this hardware looks really good, the flaps are really nice, and everything is sealed up. It's maybe, I mean, if you've seen a real one, you can tell there's a little bit of difference, but if you were just scanning, you just saw this on the side of the room, you would think it was real. But this is what the key looks like, and you can see that it's not like the real one, but it's actually a really nice key, and it does work. So let me show you how it does work. You put it, obviously, it's a lock, and twist it, and you can, if you need to lock the bag, then it will lock up like that, you know, like this. So once again, zooming in through the magic of walking closer to the camera. So that's what it looks like, right? And then obviously, let me just show you like the side view and everything before I get into the bag. It's a little smushy on the side, but I think over time that should come out. And this is what the back looks like. You need to see up close. I don't know, it's kind of pretty standard. And then the other side is a little smushy, but again, I just got it. I have a pillow in here, trying to keep the shape. Anyway, I do think it's nice, and one thing I like about this versus the one that was being sold at Walmart is that the flap and the lock and all this stuff didn't quite come with it, according to my research. I didn't actually see any of them in person, but I have seen some on Poshmark and videos about them on YouTube and things. They don't have quite this nice of locking mechanism. And what is really nice about this bag is that it has the actual flaps and locks that the real bag has. So it all comes off like this, and it has the flap over the top like the real one does. The Walmart ones have this piece integrated into the front, and I believe they have a zipper opening on the top. So it has like the facade on the bag, but it doesn't have the actual devices of the bag like this. So I think that looks pretty nice. Let me take the pillow out. And one thing that's a dead giveaway that this is fake is the fact that it does come with this shoulder strap. So the real one does not have capability for a shoulder strap. You can see it attaches here and it attaches here. But because the real one is made for like high power, super wealthy women who probably aren't even carrying their bag themselves. They probably have some servant that carries their bag, and they don't really, people like you and me need a shoulder strap because we have to worry about our back health. But really rich women find that to be gauche and low class, the fact that you have to worry about your back hurting, So anyway, on the inside, you can see there's a little slide pocket right there, and there's a zipper pocket right here. And the nice detail about the zipper pocket, which I'll show you, is that the zipper has a little H lock thingy on it, so that's really cool. So they did pay attention to some of these details. For $70, I think it's a relatively okay, it's the okayest bag I've ever paid $70 for. I will say, I don't think it's real leather. It doesn't smell like leather at all, even when you rub it. But it's not like it's the worst vegan leather. I've seen worse before, definitely. And the stitching is, you can tell it's not 100% perfect. Like you can see there's like maybe a little knot right here and right there. But like from a distance, it doesn't look horrible. And that's really the name of the game, is that it's a pretty convincing dupe. And also, like I said, the reason I got it was because I wanted some kind of a tote that I could use as maybe a personal item on a plane if I needed, if it was gonna be a short trip. And also just, I like to play the dupe game. A million years ago, I made a video how to tell the difference between a real and a fake Hermes bracelet. And I had this dupe that I got in South Korea, this Hermes bracelet. It was fake, and I wore it for years, and I loved it. And then finally, my husband bought me a real one time. And so that's the thing about dupes is like, yeah, okay, you're like, it's fake, whatever. But what I like about them is I wouldn't know that I loved that bracelet unless I had the dupe to wear and feel like it was real. And then it convinced me, you know what, I like this enough that I want the real one. So I'm not saying that I would ever get a real Wirkin, but because there's no way, number one, even if I could afford it, I feel like there's other things you could spend money on, especially for something that's going to tear up over time. But in the meantime, this is something that I can practically use too, because it does hold my laptop. It fits my laptop, so I can use it as a laptop bag. I could use it as a personal item. And I've taken it to church. It holds all my books and stuff that I need to take. So, pens and pencils and notebooks and all that stuff. So it's a nice thing. And if you feel so inclined, that's my review. So take this information for what you will, and I hope you have a great day.